Right, hello. I'm going to show you this 922 that is in here, okay, in the dollar bill. And there's also another 94 in here. This is different to the other 94 decodes that I've shown you on the dollar bill before. And there's also a 911 in here, and we can get another little set of numbers, which is really important to balance, okay? And again, 922 is extremely important to balance. Whether or not something's going to happen on 922 with the Hoover Dam, maybe it will, maybe it won't. It's another one of these pieces of encoding in here which may be pointing to the idea of balance, because 922 this year is the equinox. That's the idea of day length being balanced. Again, it's the switch over from Virgo to Libra. It's the idea of coming out of Virgo, going into balance with Libra. Okay. I don't know what else to say apart from maybe it is just the, the hidden things that are put there by people in the know to try and, explain things without like ramming it down people's throats all the time, because when you ram stuff down people's throats, they usually aren't willing to accept anything. When you challenge somebody's world views, it's extremely difficult for most people to change what they think based on somebody else's point of view. Anyway, so I guess I should start by explaining 922, right? So I started looking at this date, and without like doing a whole backstory, I was looking at the dollar bill again to see, because I knew this 22 up here existed, the two bunny ears, the two follow the white rabbit Neo, and the the Playboy bunny, because we're going to do a centerfold here with the dollar bill, if you get that. Okay. I knew, I know the two twos up there, and I'm like, I wonder if there is a 9 here, and so let me just I guess I will do a little bit of storytelling here. This is what I did initially, is I was like, well, what happens if we just fold this over, like, just take this side, and sometimes you just trial and error these things to see, if something matches up or lines up interestingly. And so I thought, well, just fold this side over, because we've got 10 leaves here, and when you do that and you move it over, right, what you'll see is that this leaf here is kind of almost disappearing. And I said to myself, well, that's almost a 922 there, even though we've got this spare berry just underneath my cursor here. That's almost a 922. This leaf's really light colored, like it's designed to disappear almost, I was thinking to myself. Then I got to looking at it a bit more, and let me show you. Well, actually, what I said to myself is that it would be better if they just made this where this joined up. These two leaves just joined up. And I get to looking at it, I'm like, oh, it almost looks like that could join up somewhat. Anyway, on further inspection as well, what you'll notice is, if you look at this leaf right here, not very good with this mouse, but if you look at the edge of that leaf there, I'll circle it, it's real straight, if you see where my cursor is. And then, actually what I need to do, let's just get back all the way up. So the edge of that leaf is really straight there. And then when you look on this side as well, you'll see like the edge of that leaf and the edge of that leaf is just really straight as well, almost like they're supposed to be folded right there. I don't know if you can make that out in this picture, but if you get yourself a dollar bill and look at the dollar bill, you'll see what I'm talking about. The edges of these leaves are kind of straight. So I'm like, oh, I'll just do the fold there. It's almost like they've put the straight line there for you already to follow. So let's take and cut it there. and move it over to the other side like we were folding it. Gosh, get it in the right place. Hang on. There it is. Okay, and what happens is you'll notice that the line is actually coming down kind of through the center of, there's 4 numbers on here. It's coming through one of these, the top one, and then coming along the edge of the other one as well. Kind of interesting as well. Anyway, pull it over and slap it next to this other side now, and you'll see that the leaf is very close to matching up on this example. If you get a dollar bill in real life and try this, you will see that actually this lines up pretty good. Okay, I am, I've got one in front of me right now just looking at it, and it lines up really good. Well, the only thing that doesn't line up though, when it's lined up there, is these numbers kind of are off a little bit. Like if I was to scooch this, you'll see that the numbers all line up now, and then the leaf is off just a little bit, and the border isn't too bad. And I don't know how the printing process goes with these things, whether they put these numbers on like a separate plate that hits the press again, or whether it's all in one go with the this first plate that has the pattern on it. Anyway, I'm not really quite sure, and I'm also not quite sure about the accuracy of all of this stuff as well. It's very close to say that it's not supposed to line up. I mean, when you do that, you're like, blimmin' hell, that is so close to lining up. I think it's meant to be. Anyway, when we do that, when we put it like this, okay, and the leaf is almost lining up, what you'll notice is, we can just go on to mark this now. What you'll notice is there's kind of part of now what has almost been formed is a berry here, and we've still got this berry here, and now this leaf is now joined up. So this leaf is one leaf, and then we can count the rest of the leaves. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leaves. So already we have in the center there 9 leaves, 2 berries, okay, which is pretty fascinating. And if we just look at leaves, we have 9 leaves. Okay, actually, let's not just look at leaves. Let's do this whole thing, and I'll show you the whole number sequence. But let's just look at leaves for 1 second to just make this easy. Actually, 9 leaves, 2 leaves on that side, 2 leaves on this other side. We have our 922 with the leaves here. Okay, kind of reminds me of Back to the Future when Biff's making the joke, and he does the punchline, let's make like a tree, and he doesn't say get out of it. I think he says get out of here, and it's supposed to be leave, and old Biff has a go at him about it and everything. But there's this idea of this reference to the leaf. Okay, 922, very interesting. Anyway, that's in there. If we just leave the berries now, so we've got 2 berries, 9 leaves. Okay, we've got 2 leaves here, 2 leaves here, so we've got the 22. Okay, and then of course we can amalgamate those. We don't necessarily have to amalgamate the 2 leaves at the top here, but we could if we wanted to. We've got just like we did, well actually we didn't do it, but we could amalgamate those 2 leaves as well. So of course 9 leaves here in the center, and 2 plus 2 leaves on the outside there also gives us our 94 encoded. And if you'll note, this is the set of numbers I showed you in the last video. These are the reduced numbers that are at the center of the chart of Lorraine, that are basically Lucas numbers reduced right at the center of that table, so to speak. In my next video, I'm going to show you why this set of numbers actually is really important with the balance of all 3 cycles. I'll show you that in the next video though. So it's a really important, what I'm trying to get at is a really important set of balance numbers. Okay, this 224 as well, which I'll show you in the next video, also when we look at Lucas numbers, you know, actually the 24 that's on this end here is actually a reference to 47 and 76. Okay, and that's where we get our, you know, the 4th of July 1776 reference. Okay, which of course this is the start of America. He's the alpha right here, sitting inside the omega. Okay, but he is the beginning. This is the beginning of the United States of America. Okay, and the end potentially the end is the beginning. So potentially this set of numbers here, which ties directly back with this set of numbers in Lucas numbers, it kind of becomes a little more ominous, you know, with that, you know, because of course this date here is, yeah, let's get rid of this a second. Yeah, this date in here that we have is 922, the 22nd of September 2024. Stick a 0 in there, 2024. Okay, so it's really important. We had Labor Day as well on 2/9 this year, so the idea of being reborn, you know, it just, I don't know what else to say really. The tie back in with Friends, I showed you Friends aired on 9/22, actually in 1994. Okay, so this tying in really interestingly, and of course old Matthew Perry did the film, what the hell, I can't even remember that, what was it called, Fools Rush In, one at the Hoover Dam with Salma Hayek, and she is a 2/9 birthday as well. And old Neo as well. This is the $1 bill. Neo the one, the anagram of one. Again, Keanu's born on 2/9. I mean, you just go around in circles tying all this stuff together. Anyway, what else did I want to show you about this? So that's pretty much the fold. I think that's how it's supposed to be. You can fold that closer and get rid of that bit of a berry there, and just have 9-1 in the middle of there. But I think this is how it's supposed to be. What else did I want to say? I'm just going to go back to the whole. Let me undo all this a minute. Was there anything else I really wanted to say about this? Because I really want to keep this really simple, and then really go into 922 in the next video with like some of the birthdays and some of the other tie-ins. I found there's a couple of really interesting things I'm going to show you in the next video, so I just want to keep this one short. I wanted to explain this in the dollar bill. I guess the next video maybe I'll explain this 29224 a little bit more with Lucas numbers real quick and the other 3 cycles, and then maybe we'll do birthdays and all the other good stuff, all the other tie-ins in the last video. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Don't want to make it too long. Let me just show you the other dollar bill. 922 is the equinox. Okay, so going back in from Virgo into Libra as well. So going back into balance, Libra, the scales, yeah, balance, justice. Again, you could look at the scales actually representing Christ as well, you know, because you're just going to hang a scale, you know, a thing off of each side of this. It's the cross, and then obviously Virgo is the Virgin Mary. Okay, so this crossover, again, this idea of this birthing event, okay, all those two things being balanced. 922, the equinox. Okay, let me show you this other dollar bill and then we'll be done. This is just another old dollar bill. Notice the two winged angels like at the Hoover Dam. Notice the serpent. Notice this sort of, this could be an owl, or it could even be a bear as well. You know, you'd think an owl would have a little bit more pointed ears. Kind of got the owl nose and the big eyes. Obviously the owl wisdom, yeah, being able to navigate the night, whereas this thing, well, the serpent speaks for itself. Okay, we're looking at the number in the middle of here. Okay, they've taken the number 1, stylized it. This is a 6, this is a 1, backwards 3, 6, 1, 3. Let's flip it around. It's actually 319. Okay, 319 was the spring equinox. Okay, this year. Okay, kind of interesting. This idea of coming out of the serpent and into enlightenment. Okay, the little bear, little Ewok guy. Okay, about to blow up the Death Star. Okay. What else? Yeah, I don't know. Oh dear. I'm going to leave it there for this one. Okay. Hopefully that was good enough that you can see that this stuff's all in the top of the dollar bill. I think it's supposed to be there, just judging by where those leaves. Oh, and also note at the bottom, the M is formed in white, okay, with the pattern down here. So a white M is formed, which is interesting with the idea of Mary and the Virgin Mary as well, okay, the pure Mary, okay. What else do I want to say about this? Yeah, just going back, I think it's supposed to be like this just because these leaves, the edges of these leaves are straight at this point, okay. I'm going to leave it there. I'll catch you on the next one. We'll talk about the cycles and the importance of this number. Okay? Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on another one soon. Alright, cheers. Bye.